Alright, what is up, YouTube world? Expiring Music Writer YouTube channel with Eric Stone. This episode is going to be I've gone back and forth on these things, where I do it just mainly on Facebook. But Facebook is getting so damn stupid. If you say any little thing that someone don't agree with, they take it right off, So I'm going to start doing these on my YouTube channel. And I'm going to start trying to get back in the grind and do a video every day. Try to get my subscribers built up. Thank you for everyone that has subscribed in the past. I've got 291 right now subscribers. I've been doing my YouTube channel for about 4 years now. The content that I put on this channel, I do live footage of bands I see mainly at the Majestic and local bands. I do my comedy stuff sometimes, album reviews, show reviews, which you hadn't seen my William Clark Green featuring Cottonwood Crows review. Check it out. Love the Majestic. Great venue, great place on Garris Avenue in Fort Smith. Love that place, love the people, love the atmosphere. I missed out on Cody Kenner, The Departed, and Lance Rourke. Hopefully I get to see them again. I'm sure I will later on. I'm going to try to make... Who's the next one coming there? It's not Ward Davis. I can't remember. But anyways. So, like I said, if you love live music, go check out, if you're in the Fort Smith, Arkansas area, check out Majestic. Great venue. Great people. Great owners. Today I'm just having a crush orange soda. But, like I said, usually I drink beer or whiskey or an alcoholic drink, but it's too early, I guess you could say. But I gotta go work later tonight, and I cannot function very good when I've been drinking, so I may do that tonight after I get off work. But the Majestic, years ago, I've been going to, it's been 3 different venues since like 2008 that I know of. It used to be the Neumeyer's Rib Room, and I seen Ted Nugent there in the middle of July. It was either July or August. And they ran out of beer that night because it was so fucking hot. And it just got better as it went on. Because Neumeyer's, though, there was no roof and there was no sides. It's like an outdoor venue with some, I wouldn't say, like cheap walls, but it was made an outdoor venue. And then Soundgarden had it, or not, I'm getting Beer Garden and Soundgarden mixed up. Then it switched to the Sound Room, and I remember I went and watched I think it was 2 local guys, Nick Swain, which I don't think he's playing music anymore, and maybe J.T. Hubbard, and it was so fucking hot that night. It was 109 degrees with a heat index, so it's probably about 115 inside, and the only thing they had was one big fan for the crowd, and there may have been 6 people there, if that, maybe 10, but it was so fucking hot and miserable that you couldn't even hardly talk without coughing, because you couldn't even breathe. It was like sticking your head in an oven. But anyways, and then the newer owners that bought out from the Sound Room renamed it the Majestic Fort Smith, and they actually put a roof up and better walls, and now they can have concerts in the winter. So, because that was the bad part. It was great for summer and spring, But once it got cold, people didn't want to come, you know, because they'd freeze their ass off. Now, like music lovers like me, you know, I'd stand there all day in the 3-degree weather, snow, watching my favorite band. I mean, I wouldn't do that to watching a football game or anything, but I'll do that to watch a band. But they've got great, mainly a lot of like Texas, Red Dirt music. Yukon, hush, hush, hush. Sorry about that. I got a Siberian Husky, Great Pyrenees mix, and I don't know if he's bored or what. I know he ain't hungry. I just fed him. But anyways, what was I getting at? Oh, Majestic. But like I said, they got up and coming artists like Lance Rourke, Cottonwood Crows. They're a little bit more advanced, and Lance is really new. Check him out, Lance Rourke. I honestly don't think he's got anything out on streaming platforms yet. I know he's got merch, and I was mad because I missed the show due to me being under the weather. Because I was wanting to interview the guy. He's a great guy, out of Oklahoma, and but he plays with RC and the Ambers, which RC Edwards is from Turnpike Troubadours, and I've seen both of them. No, I've never seen Turnpike. I'd love to. That's on my bucket list. And but anyways, so check him out. He's real new, real great. I mean, you know, he's original. I don't know how to describe his music because I haven't listened to a lot of it, but I do know I got one video on here. It's Lance Rourke at the Majestic, because I cannot remember who he opened for that night. It might have been, no, it wasn't RC because I wasn't there that night because I was under the weather again. But he opened up for somebody, and then last week he opened up for Cody King and the Departed, featuring Peyton Glasgow, I think is his name, from Waves of Band, which is Cody's son's band. You can see their stuff or hear their stuff on Spotify, Waves official band, with underscores in between. But anyways, so I'm going to try and get back, or I'm going to get back into comedy. I started comedy to scare the shit out of myself. And the first time I ever went up, it was July 3rd. That is good. But it was July 3rd, 2019. And I didn't know what I was doing. Not that I know what I'm doing now. But it was a big accomplishment for me because there's some other stuff I'm not going to get into at LMA. It's my channel, what the fuck. Where I went to the mental hospital due to suicidal thoughts, and it was just God going, no, I've got better stuff planned for you. I wanted to be a songwriter and a comedian. At the time, I was like, it'd be cool just to try it one time. And dude, it's like getting addicted to drugs to me. Like, I was so fucking nervous when I went up there. I think I shit like 3 times before I went up there. But the funny thing is, the very first time I ever got a tattoo, it's the Guns N' Roses cross from Appetite for Destruction, without the coloring, and then in the banner, like it said Appetite for Destruction, it said Only God Knows Why, which is a Kid Rock song that I love. No skulls on it. I didn't want no skulls on it. I may get them later, I don't know. But I want to go back and get it colored in, though. I do want that. But anyways, when I first got my very first tattoo, I think I shit like 9 times before I actually got my tattoo. And it wasn't that bad. Now I've got 2 more, and I got like 7 in the works. I want to get a Randy Rogers logo one, Wade Bowen logo, William Clark Green one, but like Ringling Road and an Evil Clown. Reed's Ethel Band one. I want to get one of Yoda from Star Wars. So yeah, there's a lot I want, just not enough money. But like I said, and I was so nervous, but it was a big deal for me because I thought I was gonna back out. Like no, it's not for me. But I stuck with it, and then I started getting a little bit of a following because it was July 3rd, 2019. It was on the anniversary of my grandpa or people's death, and that's what I talked about that night. Just funny shit that would go on at their house, or stuff from like I remember one time my grandma. They were complete opposites. I guess opposites do attract, because like my people was the type. He was real quiet. He never said nothing bad or good about anybody, and I wish I was more like that. But then my grandma, or Mimi, was just the opposite. We didn't call him grandma and grandpa. It was Peepaw and Mimi. And, but she was no filter, told you what you thought, or told you what she thought, didn't give a shit if it offended you or not. She was a type you would do a job for every year at springtime. When they were still alive. There was a big old flower bed out in front of the company that they used to own. And every spring, I would plant, what was those flowers? They're real easy to plant anyways, periwinkles. But anyways, and I would try to do my best, and every time it was not good enough. Or, well, if it would have been me, I would have done it this way, that way, and grout me out for 30 minutes and goes, you want to go to a cafe down the road and get something to eat? But she was always, she was like that. But anyway, the point or story I'm getting to, that wasn't the actual story. I guess that's a side story. Is we were sitting out on the front porch. I think she was drinking. She was a big drinker. Peepaw wasn't much of a drinker, but they got to talking about something the kids did at church. And Peepaw, he's real slow talking and kind of soft voiced. Says, yeah, I remember the kids doing that. And she's like, they did not, Hank. They damn sure did not. Got mad. Okay, maybe I'm over dramatic right there, but still. But she's like, they did not, Hank. They damn sure did not. Well, yes, Kathy, I was there. They sure did. Bullshit. I was there too. They did not. And he kind of, let it go. About 5-10 minutes later, he goes, well, you know what, Kathy? I think you're right. That was at another church. She's like, you did. Or she was like, he goes, I think you were right, Kathy. He goes, I think that was at another church we went to. She was like, you damn right it was. That's just the way my grandma was, though. Or Mimi, sorry. Excuse me. God rest her souls. But anyways, so, and then, like I said, I started getting a following. Not a big following. And, actually just like 2 people. But, and I was doing this, it was at a place called Harry's, downtown Fort Smith, Garrison Avenue. And it was really hit and miss. And I think that's with every comedy deal, unless you're like a big ass name like Bert Kreischer, or Joe Rogan, Bill Burr, or Rodney, or whatever, But, what was the point of that story? I fucking forgot. Oh, okay, sorry, I got off track. But, so anyways, the point is, I was getting a pretty good following, and then Harry shut down everything shut down due to the pandemic. because Harry's was a place that had local music on Thursday and Friday night. Or Thursday, Friday, Saturday maybe. I can't remember. And Wednesday night was comedy night. And that's how I found out about it. I did some research because I wanted to try stand-up comedy. And that's how I found out about it. I was already going there for the music. I'll tell you this Reed Southall actually played there. And I think it was sold out. And I wanted to go so bad. But I had a doctor's appointment I couldn't get out of in a 4 or 5 states away from where I live. And a buddy of mine said he went and he goes, and they were like nobody at that time, but they were getting a really good following. You know, I think they had 1 album out, I think, because they've got 3, I think, now. Excuse me. But, and then when they come to Majestic, like a year later, it was packed to the walls too. The most seated concert I was ever been to at the Majestic was Whiskey Myers. And I knew, because I'd seen Whiskey Myers for free in bars. Seen them at Gillies or for like $20 at a bar in Nowheresville, Arkansas. You know, and I didn't know who the hell Whiskey Myers was. And I went and seen Hank Williams Jr. at the Amp. I think it was when they moved it to Rogers instead of Fayetteville, because it used to be in Fayetteville. Because I seen Ted Nugent for the second time in Fayetteville. And it got to the point it got so damn big where they had to move it to a bigger place. And, and Whiskey Myers, it was even before they were on Yellowstone. And they were just so fucking good of a band. And I'm probably going to get a lot of people pissed at me. But I still think, and I hate to say this because I love Ragweed, my favorite band of all time, Red Dirt, Oklahoma, Texas music, whatever you want to call it, is Ragweed. I mean, I wouldn't have gotten anywhere where I am today if it weren't for Ragweed. But I still think that Whiskey Myers' live shows and songwriting blows Ragweed out of the water. I'm sorry, and I love Cody Canada. I mean, I want to interview him. I want to smoke pot with a dude. I want to hang with him. But it's just a different type of sound and a different type of writing to me. You know, but that's just my deal. But anyways, enough on that for right now. Kind of went into an 18-minute intro. Because usually my intros is Eric Song, blah, blah, Spire Music, and then I go into whatever. But I just want to talk about that because I got in a comment, or did something that reboosted like my wanting to be a comedian, you know. Anyways, and I'm not mentioning anything just because I don't know if I can right now. But anyways, it's funny, I was going to that place where I was doing this thing, and I'm real bad about not fixing my hair. I mean, I got hair, but I wanted to be presentable. Because sometimes I'll go to my grandma's, I don't give a shit. Or, you know, even going to Dollar General, I don't care what I look like. But I want to be presentable, so, you know, put on fresh clothes, because I'd been kind of under the weather last couple of days. And put cologne on and everything, and realized because I wanted to wear my William Clark Green hat, but I forgot where it was, and I didn't have an extra one in my truck, which was really not normal for me. So I went down to Dollar General. It was probably a long shot, but do you have hats? I don't care what they look like. Yeah, there's about 5 or 6 different ones over there. Okay, thank you. So I go there, and almost every one of them is fucking camo. I cannot stand camo. I never have. I'm not a hunter. I have nothing against it. Nothing against guns or anything. I just fucking hate camo because where I live, everybody fucking wears it. It's like a fucking different color. You know, you have blue, green, yellow, this is camo, you know. I knew a guy that got a freaking camouflaged recliner. I'm like, really? Anyways, and they were $10. I'm like, I don't really want to pay $10 for a hat I'm not going to wear, but maybe once. I fucking hate camo. And there was a Ford one too, but I didn't care for the style of it. It's like, damn it. And there's just all this hunting stuff, like I said, I'm not into. And then I found this one, and all it is just black and silver on the back and black. I was like, hell, I'll take that, you know, whatever. It was the best one out of the ones I liked. But the funny thing was, I almost got an orange one, like Hunter's orange, because I like that a little bit better than camo. But I was like, maybe there's something else. And the funny thing is, I picked up this hat, and it had the ink tag thingamajigger. You know, like if you rip it off, ink comes out and it ruins it. But what I found the funniest is after I went back and seen if I wasn't just making this up, and it was true. I picked up the same orange hat that was for $10 there. No tag, ink tag. $10. This piece of shit for one. By God, if you're going to sell it, you're going to get ink all over you. I just thought that was funny as hell. So, I'm also a aspiring lyricist. I say songwriter, but I don't really write songs. I write lyrics. I've written 144 songs, I think, so far, since I was 29. And I'll be 36. And I'm always working on new songs. And this one actually just came to me today. I've been in a big Toby Keith mood. You can bash him, I don't give a shit. The dude's awesome. I mean, he's got some shitty crap out there, like Trailer Park, fuck that song, sorry. But he's got some really good music. And, but I grew up on 90s country. You know, that's what my mom and dad listened to in the car. They weren't really big music fans, it was just more for noise. But I gravitated towards it. And, like, that's what I grew up on. But when the pandemic hit, what is his name from American Aquarium? Can't think of his name right now. I'll think of it here in a little bit. God, what is his name? Skinny dude. Anyways, American Aquarium. Great band, by the way. Check them out if you don't know who they are. What I loved about him during the pandemic, and this is where I had more respect for him. Because a lot of these bands, I guess, I consider them outsider of red dirt, or Texas or red dirt. Because they're from North Carolina, but they've got that red dirt Texas crowd. Billy Barham, BJ Barham, that's what it is. Anyways, he started doing 90s covers during the pandemic, and he talked about, you know, like Toby Keith or Deanna Carter, Strawberry Wine, or whatever, you know. And then they come out with a cover album that I don't know how many volumes they're going to do. They've got 2 so far. It's dubbed Slappers, Bangers, and Certified Twangers. And the one that I remember the most him talking about was Toby Keith should have been a cowboy. But like I said, what made him, I gave him kudos on for the respect was that, like, a lot of them bands, like Cody Canada or Boland or Reed South or whoever, say, you know, it was Steve Earle that influenced me, or, you know, Guy Clark or Towns Van Zandt or so-and-so. You know, all this great Texas songwriting, but they didn't really live in that era, you know. You know, like, I'm sure they listened to it, but I'm sure, too, if they were anywhere my age or 10 years older, I'm sure they listened to 90s country and Toby Keith, Tim McGraw, Mark Chestnut, Rick Trevino, Dina Carter, Pam Tillis, any of that stuff. But like I said, what he did was, he goes, I'm going to be honest with y'all. He goes, I didn't grow up on any Texas music. He goes, I came to that later in life. The songwriters, you know. He said, I grew up on 90s country music. You know, and that was like, man, that's the first guy that's honestly said that, I think. You know, from those type of bands. You know, and then when the first volume of Slappers, Bangers, and Certified Twangers came out, that really got me back into the 90s country. And a lot of the stuff that I either forgot about or didn't listen to back then. So, but anyway, so, like I said, I've been in a Toby Keith mood. And I can't remember, you know, I'm always getting what I call wordplay in my head, where I'll think like of, like today was, excuse me, like playing the part. And I don't know if it's in the song I was listening to or something I thought of. I was like, playing the, well, at first it was going to be playing house. Like, we're playing house, we're married, but we're really just playing house. I was like, well, I don't like house. But, and I thought, I was listening to a song that had the word heart in it. I was like, well, what if I can say something like, we need to have a heart to heart? Because it seems like that the paper says we're married, and even the two kids that you have carried, we're just really just playing the part or something like that, you know, about a marriage that's crumbling, you know, and that's how I started on that song, you know. Then I got another song called Rough Patch, and honestly, I don't know what I'm going to do with that one. Then I got another one, this is a Toby Keith influence one, called Jukebox Decisions. And I can't remember how I thought of the two words during a song that either mentioned decisions or jukebox. I can't remember. But it's about a guy that, like, every bad decision he's made at a bar drinking by, there's a sad country song on the jukebox. And then this next song that I've been working on, and when I say working on, either just titles or tidbits or whatever, but at first there's going to be a song called Backwards Town, because I was listening to Toby Keith again, and like I said, I hadn't give his latest album, and I'd like to say hopefully he gets better. Toby Keith, today he put on Facebook, and it was his official Facebook, that he was going through stomach cancer. I don't know if he's in remission, but everything's going good. But the last 6 months he had stomach cancer. But anyways, and like I said, I go back and forth from like 90s country to red dirt. And, because some of the mainstream country gets too stupid in my opinion. But like I said, I've been in Toby Keith mood, and but there was a song on his last album before Peso in My Pocket, which is a great album, by the way, and I'll get into that later. But I was gonna do this song about like a backwards town where everything You know, there's no street lights, or there's hardly no stop signs. You know, they got like one convenience store or a local cafe and a post office. And it's just travel back in time machine or whatever, town. And then I don't like hot beer. I thought of that one the other day when I was doing a William Clark Green, the review for William Clark Green and Cottonwood Crows. Sad ain't my style. Now, I will tell you, I have a harder time coming up with upbeat songs versus sad songs. I'm hands down better at writing a sad tearjerker. But I was listening to, not to Toby Keith, go figure, but Joe Diffie. And I can't remember what song it was. I think it was either A Night to Remember or It's Always Something or one of them songs. And there's a line in there that says, sad ain't my style, but every once in a while, blah, 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 whatever it is. I was like, that could be a song where, like, you know, the guy's in a happy mood. He don't like being happy, but he's going to walk in sad shoes for a while, you know. And then this is another one that I thought of. Actually, before I go into that song, I'd written a song, like, okay, my mother, I love my mother, I love my father, and I've been trying to write a song. I'm still trying to write this song, and I guess it's either not meant to be or a co-write with somebody one day, called Mama's Prayers. And what I've got so far on that is, if it weren't for Mama's Prayers, I wouldn't be standing here today. If it weren't for Mama's Prayers, I have one foot in the grave. If it weren't for Mama's Prayers, but if it weren't for Grandma's prayers, none of us would be here today, you know. And that's as far as I've gotten it, and I can't do it. And I've went back and tried to rewrite it, and it just hadn't worked. I'm like, what if? Because I want to get my mother something for Mother's Day, but I'm broke. You know, I have a job now. I didn't back then, and I was like, I don't have a lot of money, and I don't like flowers, giving someone flowers, or the same shit every year. You know, everybody gets flowers or chocolate or whatever. Hell, I think one time I got her cleaning supplies. But anyways, I was like, what if I take and I come up with this song idea called Mama, I'll Probably Never Learn. And it was a funny thing. And it was going to be a funny song, but it was serious and funny at the same time. But it was more sentimental because, like, my mom is a good woman, and, you know, I mean, she's a hard ass on all of us. I've got 3 sisters, but she just wants the best and not give up and work for what you got and don't depend on nobody if you don't have to. You know, we're here to help, but, and she's always talking about one day you're gonna learn. So I thought, Mama, I'm probably never gonna learn, you know. So, and this is the one I did not put on Facebook. I did not talk about it on YouTube or anything. And the funny thing is, because I guess she knows me very well, I'm always writing something down, lyrics, ideas to a song or whatever. And so she was going to watch the Razorbacks with my dad during Mother's Day. I thought, well, I'll just lay it on her office, or on her office table, and she'll read it. Well, she never read it. I was like, well, maybe she hated it, or it was too sentimental, and she didn't want to talk about it. But so I finally asked, she goes, no, it was, you know, she really loved it. She kind of teared up, you know. But that's what I was like, that is something different. I want to do a song for my dad. I got the title. I'm not going to talk about it. But another song, and this is not a song for my dad, it's just another song called Twistin' Tops with Pops. It's about a guy's dad that recently passed away, and they didn't get along very well at all. But the great memory he has is drinking beer with Dad. And I thought about that, but then Kid Rock had a song called Drinking Beer with Dad, so well, that's kind of out of the water. And this one, I'm still iffy on this one. I think it's going to be more of a comedy song. But it's Natural Light on a Friday night about a guy that hates his job. He's a weekend front porch drunk. And but he's such a drunk and he has such a shitty job that only cheap beer can afford is Natural Light, which is actually what I've been drinking because it's actually cheaper than Bud Light. And then Down Texas Way, that's another song I'm working on. I hadn't really got any further than the title. Buster Boomtown, I'm still iffy on that one too. All Wrapped Up in Your Lovin' is another one I just thought of while I was writing the outline for this Just Yackin video. But there's another one that I'm wanting to do, and I forgot to write it down, but I remember it's back during the pandemic. They would do a sequestered songwriters, like Courtney Patton, Jason Eady, Cody Canada, Matt Stallion, and a bunch of people. I don't know if Jack Ingram did it or not. But anyways, and he was talking about what they would do would pick a artist every week and do covers and tell stories of why they're doing that song or what that artist means to them. You know, one night they had a Tom Petty, one night they had Haggard, Jennings, Steve Wariner, which I'm recently getting into. But this night, it was Garth Brooks, and I guess he got a lot of fucking shit about liking Garth Brooks. But I understand him where he was coming from. Because, he goes, Garth was the first one. I have nothing against Garth Brooks. I mean, he made it possible for people from Oklahoma, Nowheresville, Oklahoma, you could get and be a national fucking star, But he was talking about how Garth, grew up in that area where he grew up. Yukon and Stillwater is where they both grew up, for a little bit. And, but after watching that, Sequestered Songwriters, I think that night he did Two of a Kind, working on a Full House. I can't remember. Don't quote me on that, but you can go back and look at it. But I got the idea because they're both from Oklahoma, Ragweed and Garth. Is I want to do a song called Yukon to Stillwater, or Stillwater to Yukon, or something like that, where it name drops Garth and Ragweed. Because, Garth, to me, he never went mainstream. And what I mean by that, he didn't really go that much pop. I know a lot of people say he did. I don't see it. Now, as his career went on before he retired, excuse me, he got more catchier songs. He was doing Steve Wariner songs and this and that. But if you go back on those old record or CDs, he co-wrote a lot of his fucking songs. Kudos to Garth. And, but, I know there's this, but to me, he brought country music to a broader audience. And the funny thing is, people say we put a rock show with a country show, which is true. But the funny thing is, and I'm not meaning this in a bad way or anything, but he totally ripped off what Chris Lee was doing. He did the exact same thing, just at a bigger, not projection, but stage and this and that. Because Chris was a wild man on stage, from what I've seen and read and this and that. And he just took it to a different level. That's the word I was looking for. He just took it to a bigger level. And, but one thing, I know some people got pissed at him when he did that documentary about a year ago where he screwed around on his first wife, Sandy. But who hasn't? Or who hadn't made mistakes like that? But my deal with him that I give him respect is when he was, just paying the dues, knocking on the doors. He went into, I can't remember what bar it was in Nashville, and there was a guy singing, If Tomorrow Never Comes? It was either that or the dance. I think it was the dance. And he loved that song so much. He went up and goes, "Hey man, my name's Garth. I'm a young and upcoming songwriter, hopefully, or singer, He goes, and I said, if I ever get a record deal, because I promise you, I will record that song." And that's exactly what he did on his debut album. I'm like, kudos to you, dude. But, so that's all the newer songs, some of the newer songs I've been working on. I've got like 100 songs I've been working on right now, like I normally do. And, but anyways, usually I won't go back and re-edit a song after I've re-edited it a few times. But I've been into Britney Spears mood about a month ago. Or NSYNC, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, late 90s, early 2000s pop, teeny bopper stuff. But that was shit back in my day, or when I was a teen. But anyways, and I'd written 2 pop songs, and there was this one I wrote, called Innocent and Naive. And it's about a woman or a couple, young couple, where she's a virgin, and the guy's like, "We're gonna go all the way, but only when you're ready. Trust me. I know you're innocent, naive, but please believe me when I tell you the words." Or so, I don't know. But what happened in the song, I ended it with her actually getting laid. But I think I'm gonna go back and just kind of leave it off as a cliffhanger, because I was like, up until that point, it was really good to me. But I was like, it was when you're ready. And then another thing that I've been wanting to do, I've done it, and I've got a podcast on Anchor, but I want to do a podcast with musicians and different people, but with microphones and the whole works, like Joe Rogan does. Not to that criteria, but and so I need to learn how to edit videos and this and that. But I said I started it back in 2020, and then it got to the point where I was doing the podcast and then the YouTube and the Facebook, and it's all come bottled together. But I think I'm just going to do that where I interview or talk about music only, and nothing else. Or, have other comedians or something. I don't know just yet. But I've been working on that, and then I'm working on the reviews. We're going to start working back on the reviews. There's a guy named Chuck Yeager I'm going to do. Eli Howard and the Greater Good. Britney Spears' 2001 album, Britney. Charlie Robinson's 2004, Good Times. Demi Lovato's latest album, Dancing with the Devil. And then, I don't know what else I'm going to do, but I'm trying to get to the point now where I come up with content every damn day. Whether it be comedy, just a Yackin, reviews, show reviews, whatever. Like I said, Toby Keith, like I said, I've been kind of got into that earlier in the park, or in the review, or shit, not review, this video. But that's what I've been working on. I said, I'm trying to get back into comedy. I have not been on stage in 7-8 months, just due to gas prices, and where in Fort Smith, there's not really a big calling for it, for open mics. So I'm wanting to get back into that, so I'm going to start writing my jokes down. Like I had, well, I'd say probably about 30 jokes so far. And the bad part is, I was talking to a guy the other day, or the other night, last night actually, where I said, my problem is that I'm afraid, and he gave me really good advice. I said that if I keep doing the same jokes over and over, like every time I go up, that they're gonna get tired of it. He goes, dude, no, what you do is you work on these 5 jokes or whatever it is, and you go back every time and tweak it and perfect it a little bit more until you get to the point where it's just an instant laugh every time. So I'm going to start doing that and get back in the grind. So that's, I'm about to go take a nap. But like I said, I'm still trying to figure out how to end these things. But that's all I got for this Just a Yackin. Look for it on YouTube. It'll be uploaded on YouTube. And I'll probably put it on Facebook unless they fucking shut it down. And like I said, look for it, Expiring Music Writer. Please subscribe, like, write, comment, share, dislike, suggest, whatever. Suggest album reviews or singles or whatever. And I will see y'all later.